Hi, I watched a movie last night and I started thinking of all these really great female characters in films that I have looked up to since I was a kid, or like actresses that are awesome that I looked up to. I don't look up to really. I just think they're great people and they're good role models and stuff like that. But so I'm gonna start with a character from the movie that I watched last night. It's gonna be like female character spotlight thing because I did like top favorite female characters, and now I kind of want to spotlight and give say like, oh, this is why. So first is Gretel. I watched it again last night. It's my favorite childhood film. I've seen it has to be over 100 times in my life, and every time I watch it, I'm so impressed with the Gretel. Like she's maybe the first female role model. I didn't even consider her a role model, or I don't look up to her at all. But looking back on it, like it's my favorite movie when I was a kid, and I rented it all the time from the video store. Like it was my most into movie. Um, and she was my first introduction to a strong female character. And I didn't even realize that until last night because I was like, she's been, I watched it so much, and she has been one of my favorite characters since I was like 4 years old, like since I was very little. So, like, I just think she was great and smart and strong and like I don't care. You know the story of Hansel and Gretel, that whole thing. They get captured by the witch and blah blah blah. But she's so smart. Like Gretel, Hansel is not smart. He's, but I do love that Hansel and Gretel are so close. And the actors who played Hansel and Gretel seem to really have so much fun together and enjoyed being around each other, and just seemed to have like the time of their lives doing this movie. But Hansel was the weak link in this situation because he is the reason that happened, because he said gave water to the goat. He kept the gate open. The goat gets out, wrecks things, and then their mom gets mad and sends them to get berries, and there's no berries on their side. They have to go to the north side where there are, and they get lost. So yeah, it's Hansel's fault. It's all his fault. But then they get captured. They get into the house, and then turns out the witch is the witch. And then Hansel is put in the cage, and Gretel's doing all the work, like the cooking and the cleaning. And whatever the witch is asking her to do, she does it. And she's so quiet. She doesn't complain. She doesn't cry. She doesn't whine. She doesn't beg. She just does it. And I don't know how old she's supposed to be. She's young. So she's pretty young. And she just does what she has to do, and so she is so strong the whole time, and I admire her so much for being how old she was and the circumstances she was in, and she just went and did everything she was asked, and she was not afraid of the witch. She was not ever like, she never showed fear. She never showed any kind of, like, she was in any kind of trouble or distress or anything. She just was inspirational, I think, a little bit, because she had so much inner strength in her. And Hansel was just not helpful. He's in the cage and he's like yelling at the witch, and it's like, Gretel is not complaining at all during this whole thing, and she's the one doing everything. He's not doing anything. He just has to sit there and eat and whatever. I know he's gonna get killed, and it's probably why he's like yelling at her. But you can't do anything in a cage. I mean, you can't pet in her cage and her be like, oh, okay, I'll let you go. So her was just kind of useless during the whole thing. We did tell Gretel, like, you know, break the eyeglass with the thing, but she did it. He's telling her to do it, but she's the one who was clever enough to figure it out, how to get what they needed done. So she was very smart, and she was very quick on her feet. The thing I love though at the end is like Hansel gives her credit. Oh, she deserves all the credit for getting him out of there. And she's like, yeah, whatever. She just doesn't seem phased at all. He's like, yep, I'm awesome. Yeah. So kind of reminded me of Hermione from Harry Potter. Like, she just gets it done. She just like, if no one has seen this movie, and it's sad. I mean, I had a friend watch it with me, and she agreed with me that Gretel is one of like the strongest kids in the world. Like, and then in a movie, like she was just, I don't know. And if you watch the movie, their mom is very like get stuff done. It has to happen. We need to fix whatever that needs fixed to be fixed. Their dad, he kind of like Hansel, where he kind of doesn't show a lot of. Her dad is great, and I love her dad, but he loves his family and all that. He's a good man, but he doesn't have a backbone. Like, that's his thing. Doesn't really have a backbone, and their mom does. She really does, and I love her so much for that. And I think that Gretel takes after her mom and that because she had a she didn't, you know, she had to have the backbone in the sense that she like yelled at the witch and she stood up to her and everything. Because she knew it wouldn't do anything. So she's just like, I'm gonna show what I can do, I'm just gonna do it. And that showed a lot of strength. I feel like if they did it differently, they could have made her that typical, you know, whiny kid who cries all the time and like, you know, like, I mean, I feel like if they made this movie now in 1987, that's what she would be. She'd be whiny, she'd be sarcastic, she'd be like, you know, like how kids in movies are now, they're kind of like sarcastic and have to make a joke about everything and it's really stupid. I feel like if they made it now, how she would be, but she's not. And I wanted to spotlight her because no one else is going to, so I'm going to. So yeah, I'm gonna start a new thing where I spotlight female characters that I like a lot. So this is my first female inspiration in film, I guess. So yeah, that is all. Goodbye.